Divine intelligence. What is divine intelligence, someone may ask? Well, it is the title of the long-awaited Christian movie which is going to be released very soon. Keep yourself updated on our Facebook page. Follow me on Facebook, Sammy Ankrah, and update yourself as to when the movie is going to be released. And also check on our website daily. Divine Intelligence Movie. Just Google Divine Intelligence Movie and we're going to take you straight there. Or you can also just go on to the URL, type into the URL www.divineintelligencemovie.com and it's going to take you straight there. You can never afford to miss watching this movie when it's released. So, what should we expect in divine intelligence? I'm going to tell you. What we aim to achieve with this movie and in this movie is to bring to light and educate the general public, especially those who subscribe to the Christian faith, about some malpractices bedeviling in the church in recent times, being perpetrated in a very cunning manner by who I call quack preachers, who the Bible refers to as false prophets in the latter times. We are not talking about those who use occultism to run churches, to attract a lot of followers. No. Those are there, but that's not what we are dealing with. We are dealing with the situation where charlatans master crafts of deception using psychology and all forms of carefully calculated tricks to manipulate their unsuspecting followers for their selfish advantage. A whole things are going on in church nowadays that leave much to be desired. And I'm pretty sure that most of you know of some of these that are going on, yet it is very difficult coming out to say this is what is going on for some people to be educated on. Sometimes you hear about some terrible and horrible experience being suffered by some persons at the hands of a particular pastor, prophet, or whatever, and you say to yourself, hang on a minute, how on earth could such persons allow themselves to be used and abused in such a manner? Truth is, the issue is so controversial because Christianity and the act of believing in God and the existence of God is something that is based on faith. And so, what these charlatans are doing is that they use biblical truths to convince their followers or their patronizers to believe that whatever they are saying and telling them is the truth, although it may not be the case. Whatever they're saying, they can relate it to the Bible and say that this is what the Bible is saying. And if you really believe in God and the Bible, then you must act in faith. And people have been exercising faith for God knows how long. Yes, so their situations have not changed, but it's gotten worse. It is very common nowadays to hear people saying, I have been called by God to become a pastor. I have been called by God to preach the gospel. I have been called by God to become a prophet, and so on and so forth. Don't get me wrong. There are genuine ones being called by God to do His work, and who are doing His work. Great. If you've genuinely been called by God, that is fantastic. But from experience and being sensitive to the Holy Spirit, I can also say emphatically that a lot of these people proclaiming to have been called by God to become pastors, prophets, and all that in recent times have not truly been called by God. They are going into ministry for their own parochial interest, to advance their own selfish purposes. And the underpinning factor driving a lot of people to go into ministry is simply mercenary. They are only going into ministry to achieve fame, success, respect from the society, and more importantly, to acquire money, riches, and wealth. Yes, I can confidently say that. But we should be truthful and clear here. We should not lose consciousness of the fact that the so-called victims, the followers themselves, have made the activities of the charlatans so easy because they, the followers, only want to be told what they want to hear and they react to it. They don't want to make any effort to search for the truth themselves, to do what is expected of them to know the truth, but want everything to be done for them. Why won't you be ripped off and taken advantage of? What makes this movie so unique is that although creativity and entertainment are brought to bear to the maximum, the main events being depicted in various scenes, of which lessons need to be learned from, are real life occurrences from my own personal experiences as well as experiences of others of which I am aware of. This is what makes it so unique. So you're actually watching something that is not totally fiction, but really happening in the lives of people. And I will tell you that any man or woman of God who will be watching any of the sequels of Divine Intelligence and in the course of watching the movie becomes uncomfortable because of what they are seeing or being exposed in a particular scene, and consequently become offended, definitely has questions to answer in the way they run their ministry. They may not be doing something right. Watch out for Divine Intelligence. You can never afford to miss this movie when it's released because there's so much in there for you to be entertained with and for you to be educated on and enlightened on. Stay focused and watch this space.